Made it to Wednesday, you guys. Welcome to Run It Back. My name's Michelle. I've got Chandler and I've got Lou. Lou is looking extra youthful today. Chandler, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, he looks very tall today.
Does look very tall. What's going on here, buddy?
I don't know. It must be the camera angle. I do look a little slimmer than usual and a little taller than usual on camera.
I'll take I like a good camera. Hey, it's all about the angles. Guys, a lot of basketball. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. It was not a lot of basketball last night. There were a few basketball games last night, but we're going to get to the Cavs. You did it again. Another monster winning streak last night. Without the services of Donovan Mitchell, DeAndre Hunter, and Ty Jerome, they were down 18 to the Nets in the third quarter. It does not matter. It has not mattered. It's their 15th straight win, 109-104, the sixth team in NBA history with two 15-game win streaks in a single season. Yes, they have the best record. They're 24-6 against teams that are 500 or better. I think that's a pretty important little stat there, Chandler. And yet, we talked about it yesterday. We're going to talk about it every day until the playoffs and until they get here. But they're not the favorite to win the East. Boston still is. What can I do to sway you here?
I mean, listen, this team is fantastic. They have it all. They're 55-10. Like that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. They have a little bit of everything. They have so much depth too that they can afford to sit guys and just plug in certain guys that can step up and can kind of produce for them. They have great guard play, obviously, and then their bigs have really taken the next step. Evan Mobley, his game has really expanded this year into that all-star level player where you can give him the ball, let him eat, or you can just let him kind of play off lobs and offensive rebounds and don't even have to get him involved, and he's still going to find a way to, stuff the stat sheet. So they do everything. The number one offense, they score the most points per game, and they're a top 10 defensive team. Usually that means you're a pretty good team, and this team just keeps getting better. And I think just the respect, I think it's more of a respect thing for the Celtics that we've seen them do it. We saw them dominate and run through the East last year. So I think people just trust them a bit more of their experience, because that's the only thing not in the Cavs' favor is that they haven't been there before. They haven't been to the big dance yet and won at a high level. But that's probably going to change this year because this team is very, very good. This team is no longer just a happy, feel-good story from a good start. This team is legit. They have it all. They score, they defend, they're deep, they have shooting. They literally don't have a weakness. So it's their only weakness might be the Boston Celtics and just running into that unbelievable starting five and team there. But it's going to be a great playoff, and I can't wait to see how they perform on the biggest stage.
Does it matter, Lou, if I told you, because there it is, the 24-6 against teams that are 500 or better. Boston's 22-12. Does that do anything? Or is it just a matter of we got to see it?
No, like I've always said, they're in two different positions, and they're preparing themselves for two different things that one team has experienced and another team hasn't. When you get all the way to the NBA Finals and then you win the NBA Finals, you have kind of the leeway to go into that next season and work on different things that you experience going through the playoffs, things that you can get better at, different parts of the game, bringing other guys along where you can be a deeper team to have depth. So you give other guys extended minutes and opportunities to come along for the ride that next season. I think that's what you're seeing in the Boston Celtics with the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going out there and just trying to play the best basketball they can to put themselves in the best possible spot that they can. So you got two teams working on two different angles to get to the same exact place, and that's what you see in the records. But once the playoffs start, everything that Boston has been working on or putting in position to get there, you will start to see that, where you haven't really seen it now with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You see everything that they're working on day to day, everything that they're building. You're seeing the fruits of their labor day to day. So you have two different teams playing for two different things until they get to the playoffs. That's why I don't really care about the records at this point.
Eastern Conference Finals. Fast forward. Chandler mentioned Evan Mobley. Kendrick Perkins has called him the most important player on the team. He didn't say the best player necessarily, but the most important. And that as far as they go in these playoffs will depend on how far Evan Mobley can take them. What do you think about that one, Lou?
I would disagree with that. I will say this. I think Perk is right in the sense of he is the most important player. He's the wild card. Like, you know what you're going to get out of your star players, but your wild card, that third option is going to be the guy who's going to get you over the hill, get you over the hump of doing something really special. Now, is it on his back? That's the part I'm gonna disagree agree with. Like, that responsibility is always gonna weigh down on your star players. They're your stars for a reason. Even though Evan Mobley is an all-star, he was the third all-star, and we know that he's not the best player on that team. He doesn't have the responsibility of being the best player on the team. So we're not going to get to the playoffs and all of a sudden say that them winning is going to be on the back of Evan Mobley. No, them winning is going to be on the back of Garland, and it's going to be on the back of Donovan Mitchell. Simple and plain. Now, whatever Evan Mobley gives you after that is going to be integral to what they're trying to accomplish, but it's not gonna be on his back. I don't think that's fair to say. So I disagree with that part.
Yeah, I think he's a huge difference maker. I mean, he's the X factor for this team, just because you know what you're going to get pretty much from Donovan Mitchell. Everyone's no secret. He's their best player. He's their everything. If Donovan Mitchell were to go down, this team would take a big hit. If Evan Mobley were to go down, I think this team still wins a lot of games. Now, that doesn't mean he's not the most important player, because of the leap that he's made this year, the production he's putting up, the defense he provides. I mean, you see there, he's minus 240 to win Defensive Player of the Year. Obviously, with now out, but that just shows you his impact for this team on both sides of the ball. But come playoff time, they're going to be taking the ball out of Donovan Mitchell's hands. They're going to be blitzing him. They're going to be trapping him at half court. Can these other guys, can Garland be consistent and go get you 30, 40 points in a playoff game? Can Mobley get you that 25 and 15 when these guards are having an off shooting night and they need to get the ball to the interior? So I think his growth just of aggressiveness and just him just having that demeanor more this year of give me the ball, I want the ball, I can dominate on just the defensive end without even scoring. That is why he's the X factor. He's not their best player, but he's definitely the X factor.
He's consistently been talked about by anyone who covers that team or even remotely talks about them, the growth and how he's added to his game. So it has been interesting to watch. Right now, though, if we're going to do a little math, they're on pace to win 68 games. That would be a franchise record, because the last pace set was 66, of course, when LeBron was there. You know this conversation's coming, Chandler. If they pass the 66, is this the best Cavs team in history?
They got to win a championship. They got to go and do what K-Love and LeBron and Kyrie Irving did. But regardless, this team has been nothing shy of amazing. No one thought this team would be this good, this elite of a record. And again, they have the potential to win this many games because they're so deep. They can afford to rest one or two guys every night and put in the Dean Wades and the Ty Jeromes and the Merrills, and the Okoro just plugs in the starting lineup last night and he plays well. So they can go 10, 11, 12 deep, which is great for the regular season. That's great for winning a lot of games. Who's going to get, kind of out of the rotation in the playoffs once they shorten those rotations? How's that going to, adjust that locker room? Is there going to be some unhappy guys? Who knows? But there's nothing to do besides celebrate this team so far this season and what they've accomplished.
Yeah. And Chandler,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Beetle, but Chandler, do we consider the 2008 team that won 66 games a better team than the 2016 team, I believe, was it 16, that won a championship? Like, do we consider them a better team than that team? No. So the wins doesn't make you the best team in history. It makes you the most winning team. It doesn't make you the best. The best team comes home with the trophy. So, I mean, it'd be great for them to win 67, 68 games, but it's an invisible record. It's an invisible piece of history where it's not really something that fans and everybody celebrate. You celebrate when you win the ring.
I know. My biggest fear is they do all this and then they somehow peter out in the playoffs. And I'm trying not to worry about things you can't worry about. That's my new mantra.